So let me give you the background that led to this question. Somebody essentially told me that I need to go out and get a real job, as jamokes tend to do. You need to go out and get a real job. Content creation isn't a real job, and I did a reply video to that person saying that's why you're going to be wherever the hell you're going to be for the rest of your life, because you can't change your line of thinking. I too once thought the way that person did. Content creation. Ain't nobody making money on fucking YouTube and Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. That's bullshit. It's social media. You don't make any money off it. I used to watch my son, who's now 14 years old, show me these kids on YouTube opening and playing with toys. And you go, oh, this kid here, he's 9 years old and he made $1.5 million last year. And I used to look at my son and go, that's not a fucking thing. No 9-year-old kid made $1 million opening toys on YouTube. And then I started making content creation. And then I started getting paid for the ads that they attach to your videos. Not from the platform itself, but from the advertising. Right? They do revenue sharing. They do ad sharing. And I started seeing what I could make and then started making money, and we're now living off of it full time. And this person here says, I understand your take. Let me pause. Let me back up. I told this person that's why they're going to remain where they were forever, because they can't open themselves up to the possibility that content creation is in fact a real job in 2026. That there are a ton of people that are making money, a living off of content creation, or also off of being an influencer, which this commenter talks about here. Something to do with the digital world in the modern era, right? Fast forward to this question. This person says, I understand your take, but what do you think of like 12 to 15-year-olds saying that when they grow up, they want to be an influencer? What I think of that is you got a bunch of 12 to 15-year-olds that are looking around and paying attention. And they're seeing people that are making quite literally millions of dollars a year on social media. And let's just stop. Let's just dispense with one thing right now. We're not talking about OnlyFans. We're not talking about feet pics. We're not talking about adult entertainment. We're talking about content creation. These 12 to 15-year-olds are growing up in a digital age where, yeah, that's another job option. That's another career path. When I was growing up, there were this many career paths, right? You could do any number of things. You could be a forklift driver. You could be a truck driver. You could be an accountant, a lawyer, a doctor, a teacher, a concrete layer, a bricklayer. You could do any number of things. And some of those jobs have gone away. Where I grew up in southern Illinois, or southern Indiana, my apologies, it was coal mine country. Being a miner was something a vast majority of the area did. My high school mascot was the Miners, the Linton Miners, and those jobs are going away. But now new jobs are becoming available, like content creation, like the gig economy, right? And if somebody has like a skill and they want to do it remotely while living out of a van, if there's a kid out there thinking that they want to be an influencer when they grow up, then they're paying attention, because there's money to be had. Listen, I don't say it to brag. I say it to let people know that you can make money in some way, shape, or form on social media. It's almost like a PSA. Last year, we made more money than we have ever made combined in the 30 years, almost 30 years that Renee and I have been together. In May, we will have been together 29 years. Last year, we made more money than we ever did. And it was all content. We made a couple of $1,000s in signings. We're both also remote notaries, do signings for people. A couple of grand from that. Otherwise, it was all content creation, and we made more money than we have ever made in our entire lives combined. So I'm trying to tell people you can do this, including 12 to 15. What do I think about 12 to 15-year-olds? My son's 14, and I tell him all the time, you should be videoing your bowling, right? Videoing what it is that you like to do. You love to play on those video games. Video yourself playing the video games. He loves to play these Fortnite and things of that nature. He bowls every Friday. He really gets into bowling. Video yourself. Go to the lane. Roll 10 games and get a bunch of footage. And he's like, nah, I don't want to be on the camera right now. And I think probably because of my presence in front of the camera, so therefore, he understands that if people discover he's my son, that he's going to catch a certain amount of shit. So that's exactly what I think a 12 to 15-year-old saying they want to be an influencer. I'm encouraging my own son to do it. Told my daughters, whatever you can video, do it. Put it on social media. Somebody will take interest in it. In some way, shape, or form, you will be able to figure out a way to do something with it. Now, not everybody's going to hit and make enough money to live off of, but maybe it's just a little side hustle for people. For us, it has replaced all of our income 100%. And so this is now our job. This is what we do. This is, instead of getting up, getting ready, getting into a car, going through rush hour traffic and getting to a job site or a factory or an office, and then coming back home and having our weekends off, this is what we do. This is how we make our money. I would encourage 12 to 15-year-olds to consider taking any path that they think that they want. However, I would also say that at 12 to 15 years old, you shouldn't know what you want to be. When my daughter Lily was in that age range, 12 to 15, she wanted to be a Supreme Court justice, like ardently for years. I'm gonna be a lawyer. I'm going to become a judge, and then I'm going to become a Supreme Court justice. She wanted to follow in the footsteps of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And then she got into high school, and she changed, and she wanted to be a pediatric neurosurgeon, and she focused on that until she got to college. And she went to college with the intention of being a pediatric neurosurgeon. And when she got to college, everybody around her kept saying to her, wow, you really explain things well. You should be a teacher. Now she's in her third year at UIC, a little over a year away from graduating and going out and potentially, hopefully, putting her college degree to work as a school teacher in the city of Chicago. A hell of a long way away from a Supreme Court justice, which is what she wanted to be when she was 12 to 15. You know what I mean? You don't know what you want to be at 12 to 15. But if they're talking about being an influencer, they're growing up seeing successful people in their lifetime, just like we grew up and we're like, oh, I want to be an actor. I want to be a professional athlete. I want to be the president of the United States, because you're seeing these people be successful in their life. Well, those things are still going on. Maybe not the president of the United States, but those things are still going on. People still see the actors and the musicians and all of that, and they also see content creators. They go, oh, I want to do that. This person's making decent money. They're like a B-lister in some places. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I can understand it. I'll tell you what, I wish I did it 20 fucking years ago. I'm actually pissed that I didn't listen to my son when he was a kid, and that's not quite 20 years ago. But I'm pissed that I wasn't listening to him 9 years ago when he was like, yeah, these guys are making a ton of money on YouTube. I should have done it back then. I'm pissed I didn't listen to the guys that worked for me when I had my landscape company that said what we should do is we should film everything that we do in the truck, on the job sites, everything, and then kind of like make sure that we emphasize when we're at a job site that's adjacent to another landscape company, and then see if we can't get that landscape company to agree to do something like a reality TV show called Landscape Wars. And I'm like, that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Now I'm like, fuck, we should have done Landscape Wars. If there's somebody in your life that's between the ages of 12 and 15 telling you that when they grow up they want to be a content creator, that is somebody in your life that is paying attention to the modern world.